everybody. I'm John Ponick with Mohave Valley Daily News, and this is your daily dose for Friday, December 11th. Casual Friday, as you'll see. We have 2 weeks to Christmas, 2 weeks from today. So, guys, that means you only have like 12 more days before you can start shopping. The women out there probably already have most of the gifts wrapped, put under the tree, decorations up, all that. But we got a little bit of time yet, guys, so just hang in there. All right, today's Daily Dose is brought to you by the Tri-State Radiology Center in Fort Mohave, Arizona. Tri-State Radiology is here to serve the tri-state area. We accept most insurances and offer cash pay prices. When you have a minute, log on to their website at tsradiology.com, and there you'll find interesting facts and see why imaging is such a benefit for you and your care provider. At Tri-State Radiology Center, your care means the world to us. All right, let's see what we got going on. Top story: Bullhead City Elementary School District students to end the quarter in quarantine, or end the term in quarantine. They had a little bit of an outbreak, a few cases out at Diamondback Elementary last week, and so they had an emergency meeting Sunday evening to decide what they were going to do about it. At that time, the board decided that they would wait and see. So they waited and seen, and now apparently there was no numbers in here as far as any additional cases or anything, but they had a emergency meeting yesterday and eventually decided to close the district, all the schools down for the rest of the semester here, which is really 4 days next week. They're off on Friday, so 4 days next week, and then they go on to their Christmas break anyway. So board president Corey Burgess voted against it. One person abstained, and then the rest of them voted for it. So do that with what you will. North Pole only mailbox being installed at Festive City Concourse. City Concourse is a little space between the police department and the courts there, the city council chambers. They're going to be putting up some decorations. They're putting in a mailbox where you can mail your letters to Santa, some lights and some other kind of decorations. They also talked a little bit about the parade that's going out tomorrow night. It starts at Langford and Gemstone, goes out onto Hancock, all the way up to Train, makes a right on Train, turns on Alana's Way, and then ends up in there. So they're closing in on 50 floats. It should be a fun time. Got a story here. iCenter does balancing act to comply with COVID restrictions. What this came from is there was a letter to the editor about 3 weeks ago or so, where somebody complained about the fact that she had been with the iCenter for quite some time, and now all of a sudden she moved into Joshua Springs and can't get the care that she needs. The story really explains why that happened. The patient was upset, but what it comes down to is that the eye center just is not allowed to treat anybody that was coming out of Joshua Springs. So there's some confusion as to where, not just Joshua Springs, any group homes. They can't do the jail, they can't do Joshua, they can't do Sunridge Village, any of them. So what it comes down to is that in order for them, they closed in March, the surgery center. In order for them to open back up, they would have to, they had to do an attestation that they weren't going to treat people that were coming from these group homes. So they attested to that. They promised that they wouldn't do that, just like everybody is supposed to, each of the businesses. And when they came down to it and she moved into Joshua Springs, that made her ineligible to be treated. So hopefully they get through that soon. But it's a interesting story, a lot of good facts in there. Man convicted of murdering girlfriend in Fort Mohave. This was the guy is Daniel Joseph Campbell, 56. It was November of last year, November of 19. They found a body. It was his girlfriend. He had been driving cross country and had some sort of issue. He said that she overdosed, and so they let him go. And then the autopsy showed that she was beaten to death. So he was arrested for that and charged with second-degree murder. And he was convicted yesterday. So he's eligible. He faces 10 to 25 years. So we'll see what happens there. 10 years for murder. That's pretty light, it seems. All right, family ties. Basketball connects Heaths. This is Mohave High School senior point guard Kylie Heath. What's interesting about this is that they talk about family ties. Well, you have Dave Heath, her uncle. You have Corey Heath, her father, who's also the coach. Her cousin Joe Heath, who is playing, I think, D3 or D2 basketball right now in college. Really, the Heath family is the first family of basketball in our town. So, really neat story. Talking about Kylie, and her sister also plays. Her sister is Alyssa is a junior, is a shooting guard on the team. So, pretty neat little story. Check that out. We also got a picture here of Kylie Klingenschmidt. She is a junior at Melk, and she was named second team all-region for volleyball. So congratulations. Not a whole lot else going on here. Business. You see that the another COVID deal has kind of hit a wall. Mitch McConnell has not agreed to some of the provisions of this bipartisan deal, so he has decided that he will not allow it to move forward. Probably the biggest sticky point in it is Republicans won't support $160 billion in state and local funds as part of a trade-off. The Republicans want protections for businesses on the whole COVID thing, and the Democrats said, well, we'll cut you some slack on that, but you pass through this relief bill for state and local governments, and they are not willing to do that. So we're kind of stuck. Weather-wise today, mostly sunny. It's supposed to get cloudy later on in the day. High of around 66 and no W. So it sounds great. In our leisure section, you see a nice picture there. Not really a fisherman, but a nice string of stripers. That is Raul Gonzalez. I caught these on Lake Mohave. So the largest is about 8.5 pounds, which is a nice size striper, that's for sure. All right, everybody. Hopefully I will see you out at the parade tomorrow night. Should be a good time. Remember, mask up out there. We're going to put it on, but we've got some real definite restrictions by the city on what they're looking for us to do. No throwing out candy or any of that stuff, but it should be a fun time. So check it out. This has been the Daily Dose, brought to you by the Tri-State Radiology Center. The Tri-State Radiology Center offers same or next day appointments, and they accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal. They have a wide open MRI and digital x-rays with your reports ready in about 24 hours. So call today for an appointment at 928-460-7226. Remind you that the Daily Dose, Valley Voices, our Athlete of the Week, our Educator of the Month, our Athlete of the Month, all of our videos are on YouTube. They're also on our Facebook page, and they're available to stream in those. In the description below, we have the Anchor app, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. There's a whole list of them there. So any one of those, you can click on that link and it'll take you to the streaming services. So please do. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Hopefully I'll see you out at the parade tomorrow night. And if not, I will see you Monday.